Hey fellas, what's up? Ventus Arashi here today, presenting to you all the next chapter in my journey through Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. In the last episode, I ended up hunting down the remaining synthesis items necessary for crafting Sora, Donald, and Goofy's ultimate weapons. And here they are. Sora has the Ultima weapon. It's the only Keyblade with MP Hastiga, so the fastest MP restoration speed when it runs out, and it also has one of the highest magic stats for Keyblades in the entire game, especially when compared to its strength stat. Now Donald has the Save the Queen Plus, and there's a bit of a debate between Save the Queen Plus and the standard Save the Queen for which is better. Because Save the Queen has Hyper Healing, which quickly revives the wielder when fallen and restores much of their HP, while Save the Queen Plus has MP Rage, which restores MP relative to the amount of damage taken. So I guess it's dependent on what situation he's in. Goofy's hands down is Save the King Plus, just because it halves damage taken in critical situations, while the standard Save the King just provides an item boost, which increases the effect of restoration items used on the field by 50%. So that's done, but now I'm going to go through and tackle every last Mushroom 13 in the game. And the reason why is because you get a Keyblade from defeating all of them, called the Winner's Proof. Now, the Winner's Proof is only useful once you've maxed Sora out to his maximum level, because it disables the gaining of experience. However, it provides more benefits than negatives once that requirement has been met. The reason why? Its magic stat is the highest out of any Keyblade in the entire game. It's 7. When you pair that with the Ultima weapon in final form, it makes for one hell of a fighting combination, especially when magic, like Thundaga, is involved. The other reason for that is it can also make item farming not as painful in the future. So, for me personally, it provides more benefits than drawbacks, but only when Sora is level 99. Now I'm going to go through and do each of these one by one, regardless of whether or not I've displayed them on screen in the past. That way people get an idea of what to expect. Now the first one is in the world that never was, and you can only access this after beating Xemnas and clearing the game. Now I already did that off camera, not to worry, I will be doing that again on screen at the end of this playthrough. And I'm gonna head to Memory's Skyscraper. And here it is, number 1. So the trick with this one that I found out works is to go into final form. Now what's gonna happen is, you're going to use reaction commands called reversal, but there's going to be you see that triangle symbol that's around the Heartless here? It's flashing green, but for a split second at the very end, it's going to flash even brighter. And you use the quick slide command to quickly get behind this guy and unleash a flurry of attacks in final form. You can only do this a set number of times, and then you have to rinse and repeat it. Let's see if I can pull this off. Like that. Quick slide. You need to get 70 or more. Ah, rats messed that one up. Messed that up too. And met that requirement. So that's Mushroom 13-1 done. Now the next Mushroom 13 is in Halloween Town, specifically Christmas Tree Plaza in Christmas Town. Now the best method that I found out for doing this is to summon Stitch at the beginning of the fight. Because what this Heartless is going to do is it's going to throw energy darts at you, and the whole point of it is to reflect it back at him. Now, you need a score of 80 or more to satisfy the requirement. So, I'm going to summon Stitch. Start. Use Reflect, or you can block, but it's best to use Reflect. Now, you got to keep an eye on that speed, because sometimes he'll hurl fastballs at you. Messed that one up. Yowza. Best to keep your distance. 88. Nice. And that's the end of that. Now, the more you use your summon gauge, or your summons, the better chance you stand of surviving, or meeting the requirement. But you can get that up to 99, I believe. Which is helpful. Okay, now the next Mushroom 13, number 3, can be found in Beast's Castle. So I'm in the courtyard right now, and it's located in the bridge area, which can only be unlocked after fighting and beating Zaldin. Now, this can be one of the more annoying-ish ones to deal with, but it is indeed doable. At least as long as you have certain abilities maxed out. So for Sora, make sure he has every last draw ability equipped, and make sure his glide and his quick run are leveled up as high as possible, or close to it, as to make the difference irrelevant. Also make sure he has his Follow the Wind Keyblade equipped, as it has a natural draw ability itself, in and of itself, so that'll increase the radius. Donald and Goofy, also make sure that they have their draw abilities equipped as well. So I'm going to get started with that one. So one trick that I found out helps is to go into final form. Start the duel, keep a lock on him. Now, his patterns of flight are erratic, but you can get a general idea of where he's going at some points. He's going to head this way, and then he's going to turn straight around. There. Come on, no. There's those. $457. Nice. Requirement satisfied. Now, like I said, this is a bit tricky. It took me a couple of attempts just trying to get this down for the recording, so don't feel too bad if you mess this up. I messed this up too. Now, Mushroom 13 number 4 is in the Land of Dragons. So spawn into the Emperor's throne room, go through the antechamber and out to the palace gates, and there it is. You want to be in Wisdom form for this. Now, the best way to do this, I found, is to enable Berserk Charge. So, in your abilities, take off all MP restoration speed abilities and don't take off the finishing plus, and put on Berserk Charge. And I'll show why in a second. Take off MP Haste and MP Haster up. That way the MP bar will reload as slowly as possible. Now, start the duel and immediately cast Cure. Just keep floating around in a circle and just keep blasting away. Now, I have the Oathkeeper on because of its form boost ability. And I took the Ultima Weapon off just because of its MP Hastiga ability, and I don't want that. You get caught once, it's game over. That's why Berserk Charge is necessary, because you do combos at the end of the finisher, you stand still, and that's not a good thing for this one. I mean, this is a pretty simple mini game. I almost got caught there. New record, 100. And that's it. That's pretty easy, actually. Now, the requirement for this Mushroom 13 is a score of 85 or more, and it's pretty easily doable. So this is one of the more forgiving missions you can do so long as you have Wisdom form equipped. Because I was able to get this while I was still playing through Act 1 of the game. So that's pretty handy. Mushroom 13 number 5 can be found in Agrabah, specifically the Cave of Wonders treasure room. Now the deal with this Heartless is it'll go into a sleep mode, and when it does, its health bar regenerates very fast. The goal is to shave it down completely within 10 seconds, which is not a whole lot of room to play with. However, there is a bit of a trick to doing this, and that's using Limit Form. The other half of this trick is to go into your abilities page and take off any and all combo pluses you might have, along with equipping the negative combo. Now, it's recommended to have both a high strength and or magic stat for this, so if you don't have the Fenrir, take Finishing Plus off. But if you do have it, you can put it back on because of the Zantetsuken finisher it has. So before you even start the fight, go into Drive Form and go into Limit. Now, the second you start this fight, wail away at it. Just mash X.
Yeah, back off! Yeah, back off! Oh, back off! Yeah, back off! Yeah, back off!
Got it. Within the 10-second mark. Requirement complete. Now, Mushroom 13 number 6 can be found in the Underworld Caverns Atrium, the same place where we fought Demyx for the first time. So the deal with this Heartless is it's going to make a bunch of clones of itself. Now the goal is to defeat every last one of these guys that appears within 45 seconds. And the best way to do that is with Final Form and Magic, specifically Thundaga. Now make sure your shortcut bar has a bunch of ethers on it, that way you can replenish your MP bar just in case. However, in case you run out or if you need to recharge, go into your abilities and make sure Sora has every last MP restoration ability equipped, specifically MP Haste and MP Hastera. Also, Ultima Weapon is excellent for this because of its innate MP Hastega ability too. So change into Final Form, start, and immediately take this one out. Lock on as many times as you can because that'll save you time. Ether. I screwed up that one. Requirement met. And that's it. Mushroom 13 number 7 can be found in the old tunnelway in Twilight Town via Sunset Terrace. Now go into here, follow the path, and it's right there. Now, much like Mushroom number 5, the goal is to defeat this enemy within 10 seconds. Now for this one, Final Form tends to work best on it, because anytime you spam Reflect, it'll do additional damage to this Heartless. So what's going to happen is make sure you have ethers in your shortcut bar just in case you need it. I'm going to take one right now because I did a test run earlier. And you're just going to keep spamming Reflect. So lock on, start the fight, and just keep spamming Reflect like this. And that's the end of that. That's actually pretty simple, given you have Final Form unlocked anyway. Now, Mushroom number 9 is found at the castle gates in Radiant Garden. You might be wondering why I skipped over number 8, and there's a good reason for that, and I will be explaining that in just a minute. However, back to number 9. The whole point of this Heartless is to attack it and keep it spinning. But the problem is, the higher number of strikes you land on it, the greater chances of it stopping, so you have to stay on it. So for these purposes, make sure to have Berserk Charge equipped, and have your MP Haste and Hastera abilities off. It's also a good idea to put on the Fatal Crest Keyblade, since that has an innate Berserk Charge ability. Another thing to keep in mind, it's a good idea to have your high jump turned off. That way you don't accidentally overshoot this thing. right there. It's off. Now the goal for this Heartless is 75 strikes. So cast Cure before the fight starts, lock on, triangle, jump, and then just mash square repeatedly. And that's it. It's actually pretty easy. Now, mushroom number 10 is in the Moonlight Nook in Port Royal, specifically Isla de Muerta. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to make clones of itself, and you have to pick out the real one amongst its clones, because it's going to shuffle its order, and you'll have to find it. Now, the goal for this one is to complete this in under 55 seconds. So trick is to use Final Form. Start it, stand back, and find a good angle and keep track of the real one. And done. That's all there is to it. Now, Mushroom 13 number 11 is in the waterway in Timeless River. Now, there's going to be a counter above its head, and the goal with this one is to get the counter down as fast as you can. Now, let's check this real quick. Missions. So I have to complete this within 19 seconds in order to satisfy the requirement. Best way to do that, equip a Keyblade with either Finishing Plus, like the Rumbling Rose, allows another finisher to be banked, or a negative combo. So Sora, take all his combo pluses off, equip the negative combo, not the Berserk Charge, and the... what was it? Finishing Plus on. What you're gonna do, change into Wisdom form. Start and just keep mashing X. And that's that. Now, mushroom number 12 can be found at the old mansion in Twilight Town. So for this setup, you're going to want to have Fatal Crest on, and for abilities, equip the combo pluses and take off the negative combo and finishing plus and equip Berserk Charge. This way you can just keep doing infinite combos, because this Heartless can be a little on the annoying side. So transform into Wisdom form. Cast Cure, what I forgot to do. Done. And that's that. And here we go. Mushroom number 8. Now, I did promise that I would explain this, and here's the explanation, because this Heartless is a nightmare to try and get. Not just for myself, but for most other Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix players. Who came up with this idea and why, I really do not know, but you'll see for yourself in just a second. So, it's located just outside Yen Sid's tower. Now, if you visited Twilight Town on your third go-around, and even your second go-around, that save point's been erased. So how you get back there on your third go-around, or third visit to Twilight Town, you show up at the Central Station save point, board this train, and it'll take you right to the tower. And then as a shortcut to get back in, or at least back in this area anyway, you go through here, and then save the game. That'll get it to reappear from the menu again. Now, like I said, this is the devil out of every last Mushroom XIII Heartless there is. And it's fitting that this is number 8, considering that Axel, number 8 in the organization, was a pain in the ass to everyone he met. So, yeah, excuse my language for that, but there's really no other way to describe it. So the goal with this one is to yank it out of the ground and keep smacking it over and over and over again. Keep it in the air for as long as you can. The Jiminy's Journal requirement to pacify this one is 85 hits, and that is a headache to try and attempt, because around 60 hits, it likes to fly far away from you and then you fail. So, yeah, the most common strat that I've seen people use are a combination of Berserk Charge and Horizontal Slash. So you want to use a Keyblade with a long range, like the Guardian Soul, or even the Fatal Crest if you've got it. And then for abilities, put on Berserk Charge. You can put the Combo Pluses back on too as well. And Combo Master too, that way you don't miss a step. And yeah, that seems to be about it. And this is entirely luck or system based. The game basically rolls an RNG and decides, you know, whether or not it's going to cooperate or whether or not you're just going to waste several hours of your life trying to do this, because that's how long this can take. The first time I attempted this, surprisingly, I got it on my third try. And this is now the third time I'm attempting this, at least as far as gameplay standards are concerned, and both last time and this time were proving to be a big fat nightmare. So, just to put this bluntly, don't get upset and don't get discouraged if you get, you know, clowned by this guy over and over and over again. It happens, believe me. But yeah, more or less, no strategy is perfect because, as stated previously, the game likes to mess with people, so just pick something and hope for the best. That's all I can tell you. So that being said, I'm going to be recording my successful attempt at getting this, and I'll attempt to show my setup afterwards depending on how burned out I am. So I'll be back.
Let's go! Thunder! Yeah! Yeah! Thunder! Yeah!
Okay, and that was the successful attempt. This is an, I guess you could say, unorthodox method of doing this, but what happened was I went directly into wisdom form, and the second I pull it out of the ground, start spamming Thundaga over and over and over and over and over again until my MP ran out. Then kept my distance and kept spamming the wisdom shot until I got my MP back, then hit Thundaga again until I got my MP depleted, then wisdom shot, rinse and repeat. And I just made it. Finally, that hellish mission is over. Out of here. And now, Mushroom 13, number 13, is out here in the Great Maw. And this one will only appear after you've completed all others. The Winner's Proof. A weapon of extraordinary magic and great strength. Disables the gaining of experience. Proof of peace. Proof of appeasing the Mushroom 13. Perhaps it has changed Sora. It did, because now you see a bronze crown on Sora's head. And that's it. So, those mushrooms, the only one that was really, really annoying was number 8. As people probably already saw. But as you can see here, this weapon boasts the highest magic stat of any Keyblade in the game. Excuse me. The only difference is, the sucky part is its ability is no experience, so you can't level up with that. But once Sora hits level 99, this becomes an excellent weapon to use in tandem with the Ultima weapon, specifically in final form. So that wraps it up for this episode. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next chapter. Later.